You cannot out-train a bad diet. This is something I used to hear a lot during the 15 years I worked as a personal trainer. But something I realized was that you cannot out-train a bad coping mechanism. Let me explain. So during my 15 years as a personal trainer, at the beginning, I would get really frustrated with some of my clients because they basically weren't following through on the guidelines that I'd given them in terms of nutrition and the training in their own time. And whenever it came time to take the measurements and the weight, sure enough, some of my clients would not have got the results that we had expected. And when I questioned them about it, they said they'd followed all the guidelines, they'd followed the nutrition to a T, and I would be left standing there really frustrated because I knew they weren't telling the truth. And with a handful of clients, this kept happening again and again. It wasn't just about them feeling like they wanted to have a hamburger or feeling like they wanted to have some alcohol. There was more to it. So this led me on a journey of finding out more about our identity and who we believe we are. And what was happening in my clients' lives was sometimes I'd feel stress from work, stress at home, pressure from work, pressure at home. And whenever you combine these in someone else's life, that's when you see their true character. And more importantly, that's when you see their coping mechanisms. We all have these coping mechanisms that we fall back into. Now, the problem with these coping mechanisms is a lot of the time they may have worked for us as children, but once we turn into adults, they don't work for us anymore. Not only do they not work for us, but most of the time they can even turn into self-sabotaging behavior. So once I realized this, I felt like I'd found the Ark of the Covenant from Indiana Jones. And I felt like this is something that's going to differentiate me from the rest of the marketplace. I've got the secret sauce to help everybody get results, and not only get results, but maintain their results. Because if you can help somebody change their self-image and who they believe they are, and then change their coping mechanisms to stress and pressure, this allows them to become somebody that can not only achieve the results, but can maintain the results. So I started adding in what I called mind coaching into my program. And we went into their belief systems, we went into their triggers, their habits, and over time the results started to improve more. So once I had the results in and I had the evidence that it was working, I wanted to increase my prices because I felt like I was adding a lot more value compared to everyone else in the marketplace. So I upped my prices, and in the gym I was in, my clients slowly went down and down and down and down. And the reason for this was because I wasn't in the right environment. I was in a gym at the time where it was majority students. This was based in Manchester in the UK. And basically they just didn't have the disposable income. Not only that, but they didn't have an interest in learning about their coping mechanisms and their self-sabotaging behavior. They just wanted to look great for the holiday. They wanted you to do something for them in 2 weeks' time. This was the kind of clientele in that marketplace, in the environment that I was in. So after all my clients plummeting down, the advice I had all around me from the management at the time and from some of the personal trainers that were working there were, just put your prices back down, get your clients back up, and then you got some money coming in. Now, this may seem like good advice, but I had a vision. And this is the difference between having a goal and having a vision. My goal wasn't just to make money. My vision was to improve people's lives and improve it for good so they sustained the results after they finished working with me. I didn't want people to just turn up and pay me, and then whatever results they got. I wanted them to have long-lasting results. I wanted to help my clients on a deep level, emotionally and mentally. And I wanted to see these results impacting the other areas of their life. And I knew I had something now that would allow me to help them get these kind of results. And this is why when it comes to taking advice from people, it's so important that you question that advice. If they're not in the kind of position that you're trying to push yourself to get to, then you need to question the advice. It doesn't necessarily mean that the advice is wrong, but you need to question the advice. The people that were giving me the advice were not in the position that I was trying to get to. I didn't want to work in corporate, didn't want to work my way up the ladder, and I didn't want to do 40 hours a week of personal training. I wanted to half the amount of time I was doing and earn more money. And not only that, but feel more fulfilled in what I was doing because I was helping people get long-lasting results that wasn't just based on their physical appearance, but was also based on their mental and their emotional results. So when you believe in your vision, but the marketplace is not giving you the results that you want, you have two choices. Either you can just completely give up on your vision, or you can try to change the environment or create a new environment. I just want to find a new environment. So I managed to find a boutique hotel, and this was the perfect environment for me. It was slightly older age range, so they had more disposable income. They had more of an interest in learning about why they had these unhealthy coping mechanisms every time they felt stress or every time they felt pressure or every time they felt a commitment to stick to something and be consistent with it. So now I was in the right environment, my income shot up, and I was doing less hours than before. And this is the importance of knowing your vision, having a vision where you understand it's more than just the goal. Now you're probably wondering by this point, what is a vision? Is it just something that an idea that you have in your mind? A vision is a combination of all of your goals, every goal that you have in all areas of your life. And it's also who you want to become as a person. And all these things are like pieces of the puzzle. So if you imagine the vision is like a big jigsaw and you have all these pieces of the puzzle that you're trying to put together to put that picture that you have that is your ultimate vision. It's basically how you want to live your life, the person you want to become, everything that you want to achieve, and your lifestyle. And the importance of having a vision is that it gives you direction. And things may be working, you may be making progress, you may be heading in the right direction. But when you have the vision, what you've done is you've taken time to figure out how much time one particular goal takes, how many resources you need to achieve that goal, how much money you need to invest to achieve that goal. When you put a vision together, you work out all these things, and then it gives you an idea on what's actually achievable short term and what's achievable long term. And what it does is it makes you make some difficult decisions on some of those goals that you thought were important to you. But once you put them all these pieces together and you understand how much time, resources, and money each one of them takes, then it gives you a much clearer indication on how you can actually put this vision together and what kind of time frame it's going to take to actually achieve everything that you have within this vision. So here's what I would do. I would write down the kind of day you would have if you'd achieved everything you want and you're already the type of person that you want to become. Write down as soon as you open your eyes, where are you? Who are you surrounded by? Where do you live in the world? What's your job? If you have a job, is it online? Is it in person? What does it entail? And everything that you can possibly think of that you would want in your life and in your lifestyle, write it in that one day. Then this is going to give you an indication of the type of things that are important to you, the type of goals that you're striving towards. Then it's a case of breaking down what are the goals involved, what are the things that need to happen to make that day a reality. Once you have this, then break each goal down into how much time you think it's going to take, what kind of resources you need to make that happen, and also what kind of cost or investment do you need to make to achieve that goal. Doing this kind of exercise is extremely beneficial because it gives you an insight into who you want to become, what kind of lifestyle you want, and ultimately everything that you want to achieve. Because if you're not taking responsibility for your life and the direction that you're heading in, then somebody else will. Or you'll just be a slave to the environment all the time, just constantly in reaction mode rather than in responsive mode. Another huge benefit of having this vision is that it becomes very clear on what are things that are taking up your time, that are wasting your time, and things that are distracting you away from your purpose and your goal. Once you have that overall vision, anything else that's trying to come into that vision, it makes it much easier to say no and to set boundaries. And this will give you the momentum needed to start actually enjoying the journey. If you feel like you'd like to add anything to what I've said, then please let me know in the comments below. If you like my content, then please subscribe and share this with other men, the brotherhood. Until next time, step up, let's go.